Kitchen renovations can be very challenging when you're trying to avoid tearing out perfectly intact elements that you know will just end up in a landfill. We knew it made sense to paint the cabinets in this kitchen because they were solid wood, well made, and had a simple profile, plus the configuration worked efficiently. We also knew the floor tile needed to be updated, but we debated the old school countertop and backsplash. While we tried to coordinate a number of cabinet colors and floor tiles with the existing countertop, we just couldn't find a combination that was convincing. So we concluded that replacing the countertop and backsplash was the best approach. That meant it was time for demolition of the floor tiles, backsplash, and countertop, probably the most unpleasant step in a kitchen renovation and the one that makes you ask, what was I thinking? So we were surprised to discover a little visitor given how unpleasant this environment was. Following the demolition, I thoroughly washed the cabinets with TSP to remove surface grime before giving them a light sanding as part of the multi-stage prep process. Then it was time to remove the cabinet doors. I made sure to label them to make reinstallation easier, though it was not obvious where to do this since they were going to be painted on both sides. I landed on the exposed hinge mortise, the only spot that would remain unpainted. Next, I rolled and brushed on an oil-based primer, which we felt was the best undercoat to ensure optimal adhesion and performance of the finished paint. Then we shifted to laying the large format tile on the diagonal and using a color-matched grout, all of which give the space a more contemporary feel. This was followed by installation of the new countertop and backsplash, where we chose light and white tones and subtle designs to both brighten the space and complement the more traditional cabinetry. The final step in this phase was installing a cultured marble windowsill. Now it was time to be definitive about the cabinet color while awaiting the installation of the under-counter lights, an important feature that was not part of the original kitchen. We chose a sage green Benjamin Moore color called Nantucket Gray, but formulated in Sherwin-Williams Emerald Enamel, which is their version of a self-leveling paint. This provides a silky smooth and durable coating, one ideally suited for cabinetry. I applied 2 coats to the cabinet frames and 3 coats to the doors, letting each coat cure adequately before moving on to the next, and of course I lightly sanded the surfaces in between coats to ensure the smoothest finish. Then it was time to reinstall the doors, a challenging task because it meant making endless hinge adjustments until the doors closed just right. Next, I had to caulk the gap between the floor tiles and the cabinet bases before installing and painting a new toe kick. At this point, I turned my attention to the existing Venetian blind, which I planned to reuse. It was now about a ½ inch too long because the new backsplash wraps around the window opening, reducing its size. I pulled this off by tightly wrapping the slats with duct tape and carefully positioning the closed blind in my chop saw to take off just 1/4 inch from each side. I was delighted to get such a clean cut. Back to the cabinetry, it was time to install handles, and I had to create a template and drill holes since this step had not been done when these cabinets were installed in the 90s, even though they are not handleless cabinets. Now I needed a creative distraction, so I made a 5-piece stacked color block series inspired by the mid-20th century artist Joseph Albers. I featured a green tone on the base piece in each stack as a nod to the cabinet color and punctuated the subdued layers with a contrasting color and shape at the top. When this was installed, the room really started to come to life again. A key final element was designing a low-pile accent rug using tile squares from a leading manufacturer. We chose this approach since the tile can be easily replaced if it gets damaged or stained. Then we had some fun with decorative elements while awaiting the delivery of the new refrigerator. What a relief it was to complete the project. It was satisfying to see our vision become a reality, totally transforming a 90s kitchen while keeping the cabinets and most of the appliances. How nice that we were able to reuse these things on the path to creating a cheery and inviting room. Follow or subscribe at Design Marquee, and thanks for watching.